Hello, friends, and welcome into NFL Daily. I am Tom Downey. Alongside me is Mitchell Renz. Some injury stuff we've got to talk about here. We have some fun debates as well on today's show. Let's talk about one of the hottest teams in the NFL, if not the hottest team in the NFL, Mitchell. That is the Dallas Cowboys and Dak Prescott, who's been absolutely incredible. So here's the question for you, and we'll have a little fun debating this. And everyone in the comments, please debate as well. Who's the better quarterback? Who are you taking, Carson Wentz or Dak Prescott?
I think you got to look at this in two ways, right? I think the highest ceiling here is Carson Wentz. I think in terms of highest ceiling is Carson Wentz.
Because we've seen a pretty high ceiling from Dak these first two games.
But, I mean, Dak Prescott has also gone up against the Giants. And who did they play this past week? The Redskins. Now, I mean, Carson also struggled this past week against the Atlanta Falcons and also had to play the Washington Redskins at home. But who's the better franchise quarterback? Before I give my answer, we're seeing a lot of P's in the comment section and even a few D's in there as well. Some people might be wondering what the heck we're even talking about. Make sure you guys comment. Type P for Prescott, type W for Wentz. Tom, because in 2019...
It's not a debate right now.
I agree.
It's not a debate.
Dak Prescott has been a lot better in 2019. And when you think about their entire career, that's when I think you can really talk about which quarterback has been better. So Alex, Ruben, Jimmy, I'm seeing a lot of Dak Prescott's. In fact, I haven't seen a single person vote for Carson Wentz because this season has belonged to Dak Prescott, Tom. I mean, 7 touchdowns, 1 interception, the 2-0 record, which I am a believer that quarterback wins matters in the NFL. The completion percentage, advantage Dak. And Carson, man, Carson just can't seem to stay healthy. In 2019 already, he had to leave yesterday's game against the Falcons. And then his entire career, if there's one thing that Dak has really been able to do besides win over Carson, it's stay healthy. Yards, Dak Prescott. Touchdowns, it is even. Carson Wentz, more interceptions, but the win-loss, plus you have to consider the fact that Dak has more NFC East titles. I know you're just kind of...
And the head-to-head very much in favor of one Rain Dakota Prescott.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
That's his name.
I understand.
I use it for emphasis.
Yeah, well, keep going with your emphasis because there's one name that's on here that's not on here for highest paid quarterbacks.
Not for much longer.
Well, yeah, not for much longer. It's Dak. I mean, do you think Dak, among these 5 names up here, highest paid quarterbacks per year, do you think he deserves to be on that top 5 list?
If you're putting Jared Goff and Carson Wentz in there, yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I mean, I feel that one of the biggest issues with the hatred of Dak Prescott has been the fact that he was a 4th-round pick. And we cling to our preconceived notions there about how good a player is. But the reality is, across their NFL career, Dak Prescott has outplayed Jared Goff, and he's outplayed Carson Wentz. But you mentioned the upside, which I think is really you saying he was drafted higher, or like he was the 2nd overall pick, therefore he's got better upside. Dak Prescott is coming off the best 2 weeks of his NFL career. Wentz has not put up numbers that Dak has in a 2-game stretch like that before.
No, hey, I do not disagree with you, and I think right now I would almost argue from a receiving standpoint, Carson probably has better options considering Zach Ertz, Deshaun Jackson, Alshon Jeffrey, Nelson Aguilar. Like, the running game for the Cowboys is better. The offensive line, I will still give advantage to the Cowboys.
I don't know. I think it's pretty even. That Eagles offensive line is great.
When fully healthy. They were banged up a little bit against the Atlanta Falcons. So better franchise quarterback. Before we give our answers, or it looks like we got some answers down there below, Dak Prescott, Carson Wentz, P for Prescott, W for Wentz. Tom?
I'm obviously taking Dak Prescott as the host of the Cowboys Report. The haters have been mostly quiet so far this season.
If you would have asked me...
They'll get a chance later on.
If you would have asked me this question, probably up until this week, I would have said Wentz. To me, Wentz is just...
Sounds like you're a coward for not sticking to your guns, because I would have taken Dak.
Man, I've watched Dak, and I've been a Dak hater. I have 100% been a Dak hater. Dak's looked great the first 2 weeks, and Carson, to me, is just too much of a China doll.
There are more W's flowing in now.
Well,
by the way,
maybe they're typing W's for win. I'm not quite sure. Better franchise quarterback, Prescott, Wentz. I'm going with my P for Prescott. Sounds terrible. And he's going to be typing his D for as well for Dak. All right.
Oh, God. All right, let's move on then to Drew Brees. Some unfortunate injury news here. He has a torn ligament in his thumb. He suffered that week, too, against the Rams. I'm sure you saw the injury. When he came back, either tried to grip the football, and he couldn't actually do it. He could be an IR to return candidate, probably going to miss at least 6 weeks, maybe a little bit more. So now the question becomes, all right, Teddy Bridgewater is your quarterback. Mitch, can the Saints make the playoffs, and will they make the playoffs?
I mean, I'm surprised you didn't go to BetDSI right away and put money that the Saints are going to win the Super Bowl.
You did that before the season.
I did.
You already claimed dibs.
I'll tell you what, if somebody needs to go on the IR, it's going to be me because I'm going to be broke because the amount of money
You
I
bet
put.
a lot of money on the Saints.
I'm going to say, I think right now it's like $75 on the Saints because I was confident the Saints are a really good team. But if there's one man that you might love more than Dak Prescott, it's Teddy Bridgewater. And if your wife's watching, she should be definitely worried.
For the record, I was not on the trade for Teddy to replace Dak bandwagon like some Cowboys fans were.
Here's the thing, though.
Just
I mean,
so we're
obviously losing Drew Brees, who is a Hall of Fame type quarterback, who is the leader of that team, that hurts. But he's only going to miss, from what it sounds like, 6 weeks. I think the NFC South right now is such a toss-up. The Buccaneers, you don't know what you're going to get. The Falcons, they don't impress me.
Fair.
Plus, I mean, the Carolina Panthers right now, they look like the worst team in that division. I still think, with Teddy Bridgewater, the Saints are the best team in that division.
I don't know about that. As a Teddy Bridgewater truther, I'm actually not convinced. Because, look, I am not going to declare Teddy Bridgewater bad based on one game. Let's see him with an entire week's worth of prep for the offense there.
I mean, they also played the Rams.
I'm actually concerned, though, about that defense. I don't think it's looked very good the first 2 weeks.
Okay.
I understand why, but I feel like they kind of shut down.
Rams, Texans.
Yes.
Those are tough matchups.
How about 3 of their next 5 games? Seahawks, Cowboys, Bears.
Oh, man.
Aren't they going to lose all 3 of those games?
I would say, if I was a betting man, I'd probably say, yeah, they're probably going to lose all 3.
There's 4 losses at minimum. I think you're hoping for 10-6, which probably wins the NFC South.
Yep.
But what if you get upset somewhere along the way? What if you lose a couple of games once Drew Brees comes back? Or, God forbid, what if we end up with a Peyton Manning situation? Where Drew Brees comes back from the thumb injury, he's still not right, and he's just not able to throw the football the way we're accustomed to. That Saints defense cannot carry this team.
Tony Holder says they will beat the Bears. I mean, the Bears did not look good whatsoever against the Broncos.
It's a road game, though.
It is a road game.
If it was at home, I'd feel a lot better. Trubisky looks terrible right now.
Yeah,
but that's the concern for me.
So, Tony Holder, I'm saying this right now. If you think that the Saints are going to beat the Bears, you'd be really smart and put your money where your mouth is. Go to BetDSI right now. Use our promo code NFL120 for 120% deposit bonus. Chatsports.com/bet. You have to use that link. And if you think that the Bears are going to, or the Saints are going to beat the Bears, put your money where your mouth is. Who do you think is going to win? Do you think the Bears or the Saints?
I want to see how Teddy Bridgewater plays. If you have to pick one right now because they are the
Who's the better quarterback, Teddy Bridgewater or Mitchell Trubisky?
God. It's like choosing.
Oh, man, that's a tough one.
It's like
what do you guys think,
Mitchell
Mitchell
Trubisky
Trubisky
a hard
or
place.
Teddy Bridgewater?
All right.
Followers. So who's the best team in the NFL?
Good comeback.
It's not the New York Giants. It's also not the Miami Dolphins. So here's the thing. I asked Tom, throw together your top 5 NFL teams. So we're going to reveal them from 5 down to 1.
Yes.
So we want to know from you guys who's the best team in the NFL.
Emphasizing this based on right this second, only the first 2 games of the season, so they're all going to be undefeated teams.
So Randy Duke says 49ers, seeing some Eagles in the comments section. Brayton Nichols says Chiefs.
Oh boy, they're
seeing a lot of Niners.
We got some Niners fans there. All right, my top 5 here, the Green Bay Packers. I remain a little bit unconvinced. Mostly, but look at what they've done, right?
Yep.
Bears and Vikings, 2 pretty quality wins. Although that Bears game, I went blind in one of my eyes watching it on my plane flight back to Cincinnati because I actually had the game on there. Number 4, the LA Rams. I think I'd have them a little bit higher. The Saints win has a big asterisk next to it because the refs botched it somehow again.
I love big asterisks.
For the Rams, of course you do. Number 3 for me, the Dallas Cowboys. I actually have them as the top team in the NFC. And I'll make note, by the way, for the Cowboys.
Of course you do.
Check in with me again in 2 weeks. They'll probably be higher, if not number 2, number 1 there, because...
I don't see how much higher they can go.
2 spots right there.
Well, no, you just said they can go 2 or 1. I was
there you go.
This
guy. Look, they've beaten the Redskins and the Giants, so I'll put an asterisk on that one. The Chiefs, they're next up here at number 2. No Tyreek Hill, no problem. Maybe it's not the best competition, but we knew the Chiefs were going to be good going into the year.
Number 1, of course, the Miami Dolphins.
Stop it. Until they lose a game or look terrible in the process, I'm taking the Patriots.
Yeah.
I don't care about the trouncing of the Miami Dolphins. Whatever. I'm sorry, by the way, about the Ravens and the Niners. You 2 are the next teams up. The Patriots, though, whatever the Steelers.
Reckless Matt said I would have put the Ravens over the Packers.
I thought about that one. I'm also kind of docking the Ravens a little bit because they've played the Cardinals and the Dolphins. two of the worst teams in the NFL. That was the differentiator between me and the Packers.
So, Tom, if I asked you right now, who's going to play in the Super Bowl? If you're a betting man on BetDSI and you bet more than anybody I've probably ever met.
I win more than anyone you've ever met.
I don't know about that. Let's not get carried away. Who are you saying is going to go to the Super Bowl?
I got the Cowboys and the Chiefs. I am tired of the Patriots. No more of that. Give me Dallas and Kansas City there. Okay. A fantastic matchup. I tweeted this out, by the way, before Week 1, so I'm sticking by it. Give me Dallas over the Kansas City Chiefs. So, Mitchell, walk me through your top 5.
All right, my top 5. I'm starting off with the Los Angeles Rams. I still think that this is a pretty solid offense. The defense is there, but just like you said, that's an asterisk going up against the Saints. They did not really impress me. They didn't really impress me even against the Carolina Panthers. But when I first started my power rankings, I had the Rams at 4. They're still 2-0. Then I went number 4 here. I have the Dallas Cowboys. I think the Dallas Cowboys have looked really solid on the ground and through the air, but you've only beaten the Giants and you've only beaten the Redskins. I understand it still counts, but for me, I just could not put Dak Prescott because I think Dak Prescott going up against Aaron Rodgers, I'm going to take Aaron Rodgers and that team every single day of the week. So number 3, I'm going to go with the Green Bay Packers. I know some people are going to hate on me for this.
It's not like they've ever played in the playoffs and Aaron Rodgers beat them. I don't know what you're talking about.
Was it a catch?
Those games have never happened. I have no memory of those playoffs.
Was it a catch?
No memory.
Yes or no? But here's the thing, Tom. Seriously, like, you go up against the Chicago Bears, and yes, that offense did not look good, and the offense hasn't looked good. No. But in Chicago, that's a really tough game. And then they beat the Vikings pretty handily. Number 2, the Kansas City Chiefs. They put up 28 points like that. And in fact, Patrick Mahomes might have just threw for another touchdown in the second quarter against the Raiders. An absolutely sensational offense, and they don't even have Tyreek Hill. And then number 1, yeah, I get it. It's not fun, but here's the game that we live in, and it's the New England Patriots. If you're not a betting man, I was going to say, if you haven't bet on the Patriots at least going to the Super Bowl, I really question you.
So speaking of, what is your matchup?
I'm going to stick to my guns. I'm going to stick with the Saints against the Patriots.
It doesn't look that great anymore, does it?
So here's the thing. I still think the Saints win that division. I still think the Saints are the best team, and if all they got to do is get by that 6 weeks without Drew Brees, with Drew Brees, this Saints team is making it to the Super Bowl, going up against the New England Patriots. If you think I'm crazy as Pete Gorman, who thinks 49ers are won, yeah. You know what?
Pete's a Niners fan, though, so I respect him standing by his team.
I respect it, but at the same time, I don't know if I can get behind it. So
keep those comments coming. The best team in the NFL. Speaking of your 49ers, Pete, are they for real, Mitchell? What do you make of them so far?
So currently they're 2-0. Okay, they've scored combined 72 points. They went up against the Buccaneers. They went up against the Bengals. Your Bengals.
Not great.
But they've looked very solid. But the thing that really helps me out with this 49ers team, they've dealt with a lot of injuries already.
That's true. They've always seemingly been an injury-prone team for some reason.
And they ran the football down the Bengals' throat this past week.
Bengals are bad. I am not giving any teams credit for beating up on the Bengals.
But I think, like, the fact that they were able to run for about, 7 yards per carry, and it didn't matter who was running the football for the 49ers this past week. Now, who's the offensive lineman that just got hurt for them?
Joe Staley.
That's a big loss if they lose him.
Loss.
So if he's healthy, that's obviously going to help. But here's the thing. Are the 49ers for real? We want you guys to type TY for Tom yes or TN for Tom no. If you don't know what Tom means, you're not a loyal watcher, make sure you guys subscribe a little bit more. I was going to say a little bit more often. That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. So predict the 49ers 2019 record, Tom. I asked you this before we came on the show. What do you think? How many wins for the 49ers this year?
I got them at 7-9. To be quite honest, I haven't really adjusted my expectations for San Francisco. They beat up on 2 pretty bad teams. I don't think they're going to be a Super Bowl contender. I do think they will push for a playoff spot. 7-9 puts you in the mix there. I feel a little bit better about them if they win Week 3. No Big Ben for the Steelers is a big boost to them, but they still have the Browns. They have the Rams twice. The Redskins on the road. That will not be an easy game. The Seahawks twice still. Packers, Ravens, Saints, and Falcons. They have a brutal stretch to end the year. Prepare for this one. Home against Green Bay, at Baltimore, at the Saints, home against Atlanta, home against the Rams, at Seattle. They're going to be in the mix with 6 games left to go. That is a tough stretch.
Which is exactly why I put them at 5 wins
hater.
and 11 losses. I'm sorry. For a team that's already getting banged up, it is a long NFL season.
Hater Mitch is back.
This 49ers team to me is not really all that good. I think Jimmy Garoppolo is one of the most overrated quarterbacks in the NFL. Sure, that running game looked good against the Bengals, but like you said, it was the Bengals. And their wide receiver core is super, I don't know. Sure, luckily they have George Kittle, who I could make an argument as being the best tight end in the NFL. But for me, this 49ers team is not good whatsoever. And just because you run the football down the Bengals' throat, I'm not impressed. But I'll tell you this, Tom. If you play FanDuel, start your running backs against the Cincinnati Bengals, you're going to win a whole bunch of money. And I challenge anybody. If you think you're smarter than me on FanDuel, challenge me.
What's your challenge?
Challenge me on FanDuel.
Okay, how? How do I challenge you on FanDuel?
You got to go to FanDuel.com/chatsports. Your first $20, you're going to get $20 deposit. Wait, $20 free with your first $20 deposit.
Put in $20, they'll give you 20
I tried
for
to
free.
read it, and I just couldn't.
He can't read. It's rough sometimes, guys.
It gets really, really rough. So
the
go to
government's
FanDuel.
paying us extra money.
FanDuel.com/chatsports. Let me know if you want to challenge me. Hit me up, IG, Twitter, @Mitch'S365, or at WhatGoingDowney. FanDuel.com/chatsports.